Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is Operation Laythe. This is Jebediah Kerman, and I am Southern Wolverine. We are here on the launch pad with a fairly ambitious new new mission. So what we see here is the SWAT, the powerful lander that we are going to take out to the planet Eve. This is our mission to go out there and to return. And this is a vehicle that I think is going to be capable of making orbit from the ground. And I was just out here doing a landing gear and ladder test. See, it's studded with parachutes all over, double on all the chutes. We've got aerospike engines on the bottom for maximum in-atmosphere efficiency. And this should have more than enough power. We see lots of little landing gear and stuff too. So, this is a small, but relatively small anyway, squat, powerful vehicle. I've called it the Wolverine Mark 1. So this is what we're going to try to get to Eve. The only trick will be, how do we get this into space? And then, how do we get it out to Eve? So I'll still have to design a launch vehicle, still have to design the interplanetary stage, but this is what we're going with. And I'm going to go ahead and try to build a vehicle that'll launch this into space and come right back with you guys. Okay, here we are. We're back at the launch pad. We've just strapped some massive rocket boosters onto the outside basically. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to light up all the engines, including the lander engines. And I've got these stages feeding this. Same on the other side. Both of these are feeding this one. These two are feeding that one, these two are feeding this one. And then this is going to feed back into the lander. So hopefully this will be enough to get the lander up there with full or nearly full fuel. And yeah, we'll see. Although I already see a staging problem. What the hell? Let's see this. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. The other thing I did was add some RTGs for power, since I had no solar panels or anything on this. That would be unfortunate to run out of power on Eve. And I added this large disconnect just for the transfer out there, and then I'll build the transfer vehicle with the same kind of arrangement so that we can have a large docking port for going out and a small one for coming back, since the small port is going to, with the weight and the weight distribution of this lander, I have a feeling that it's going to cause a lot of stress on that little part and cause a lot of wobbling and potentially to break, force us to fly with lower throttle, and the big disconnects work a lot better for that. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Clampotron Senior and just have it nice and tied in with struts into the surrounding structure for the trip to Eve. Alright, so now I will caveat this before launch that I have not tested this. I have tested the lander on its own, and the lander itself is perfectly capable of making orbit, although it burns off all those boosters. In fact, it's capable of getting to orbit and making another extra, like 7 kilometers per second of delta V. So I am optimistic that that will get us onto and off of Eve. For the moment, Jebediah Kerman is commanding, though I may swap him out once I get this into orbit. We'll see. Let's just get this going first. And I know this won't last at full throttle because it'll break something as we get an overheat. In any case, 3, 2, 1, liftoff! Hooray, I staged things correctly vis-a-vis the launch clamps. Okay, this is definitely moving pretty good here. Let me just check some of these internal fuel, make sure they're not draining. Okay, very good, they're not. And just those are, and they are draining quickly. Holy cow. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Keeping a careful eye on all these overheats. That's probably these internal, this cluster of 4 here on that orange tank has a significant tendency to overheat. So we see 2 sets of 4 overheating. That's probably what it is. And these outboard ones, those are probably these. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So we're just going to wait for this first set to cut out, and then keep an eye on where we are. Let me get set up on this video. I really should have done this before starting the takeoff. Whatever. So the target is, all I'm trying to do is get this up into somewhere between 80 and 100,000 kilometer relatively circular orbit to make whatever launch vehicle I come up with capable of getting out there and mating up with it. Ooh, and I'm actually a little bit faster than I would like to be right now. Just trying to maintain speed. I don't want to pick up too much air friction this early. Keep an eye on this. I'm about to lose those. So I'll start the gravity turn, then dump these, and then be just about ready to begin the full gravity turn. Okay, let's hold this for just a moment until we let go of these. And I got some fins on there, so this hasn't been rolling very much, and we should maintain pretty good symmetry, so hopefully it'll stay that way. Oh my! Oh my! Ha 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 ha! Okay, let's try that again. uh, Oops. Yes, let's detach the engines that are still firing instead of the ones that are empty. Okay. All right. Copy and paste all that stuff I said before. 3, 2, 1, blast off. Okay, now that it's properly staged, no doubt somebody saw that beforehand and was yelling at their screen. What the hell are you thinking? You're going to run out of fuel and disconnect the wrong stage, you moron. Whatever. No harm, no foul. It's back to where we were. And of course I could have saved Jebediah on that one, but I figured I'd save time, just cut right back to the launch. Because clearly we had plenty of parachutes to bring this all back. I would think we all accept and understand that Jebediah could have made it back safely, or even made it to orbit, that Lander is more than capable of making it to orbit. In any case, we'll just continue on from such setbacks. Try to get a fully fueled lander out into space. Let's see what this looks like from the business end. Yeah, there's some power on this rocket. That's one way to add a launch power, which is kind of the basis of the lander too, is to keep your vehicle short rather than make it tall, having lots of fuel like you might have for an interplanetary kind of situation. Just keep it short and put lots of engines on. That will give you a great thrust to weight ratio, which is what we're going to need to get off of Eve. Alright, commencing gravity turn. We are just about on schedule for dumping that first set of liquid boosters. Okay, and ready. Bye-bye. Yay, we ejected the right thing this time. Hey. And a quick fuel check of the internal vehicle. Yep, so far so good. So far so good. Alright, ooh, wow, we're gaining altitude at a significant pace. So, more severe gravity turn. Yeah, I actually could probably even turn more. This orbit's getting kind of tall on us. Alright, we'll lock it in about 40 degrees there. That should be just about fine to get us going. Woo! Already almost through the middle atmosphere. Yeah, there's quite a bit of power packed into this middle stage too. Like I said, it's not really possible for me to test this on Eve type conditions prior to actually going to Eve. But given how much power it's able to escape Kerbal with, I'm confident, perhaps optimistic would be a better word. I'm optimistic that we can use it to escape from Eve's atmosphere, and we'll be left with just the command capsule. The command capsule is kind of like a capsule popsicle, was kind of where I was going. I'm not sure what the hell that was, but in any case, we've got the command capsule, one little fuel tank, and one RCS tank, and that'll be about all that's left of that after we've reached Eve orbit. And that should be all we need to stabilize an orbit and get to someplace where we can mate up with a to-be-designed transfer vehicle. Now, most logical people, most people in the real world would probably have designed that transfer vehicle before launching this lander. But I have a pretty good idea what it's going to end up looking like. We've done enough of these. It'll be like those, except perhaps a bit beefier. I don't know. Maybe it'll just be a kind of a large version of the Laythe transfer vehicle. Okay, we're kind of losing it here. I didn't quite spread this out as much as I would have liked. But we'll get into orbit here. And should be able to stabilize the orbit. at 90-ish. And still have fuel left in the center. It shouldn't take 500 meters per second. I'm hoping this has enough. If not, I can always do a refuel. Before we send this mission off. I may have to build some extra ports now that I'm thinking of it into the sides of the transfer vehicle or something like that in order to, or if it has outriggers, I could put it on outriggers in order to allow for refueling before departure. Oh my god, stop with this nonsense. Fast forward just to kill that rotation. It's, it's getting some divergent situation going there for a minute. And you'll see that I do not have ship lights on this like I did on some of my previous missions. I'll probably put some ship lights on the transfer vehicle just so that we can see what's going on. But this bad boy, every last ounce is going to count. So I'm keeping it as light and lean as possible. Now, of course, those lights are extremely low weight, and it wouldn't add much to my air drag either. But still, I'd rather not take my chances. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing into orbit, and then work on a transfer vehicle, and I'll come back to you guys in just a bit. Okay, welcome back to the launch pad. Here we see looks more ridiculous out here on the launch pad than it did in the VAB. This up here is the transfer vehicle. In an effort to deal with the spinning situation that we've had in previous missions, I've taken this and spread this out linear-like instead of bundling it around and then dropping off pairs before we get to the center. You'll note that there are also no engines in the center. It is just structure work in here. We have our little unmanned capsule here, a large disconnect for the way out there so we can pull that big thing behind us, and then coming back we can just push it because it'll only be that little leftover bit, so that way we get the advantage of our pulling, and we still don't have to have extra disconnects and things on this in order to expose a small docking port. It also gives us a port which we could use to do refueling, although it's a little bit kind of buried between these two, but I can adjust that with just a big strut on the refueler. And we are going to need a refueler. I've got that one is launching full, and all the rest of these are going to be empty. With luck, there will be some left over from this to transfer up into these, but I fully expect to have to do at least one refueling mission, and I did have to use a little bit of fuel on the lander in order to finish off that orbit. So there was just enough in those boosters to get it up there, but not quite enough to circularize it. So in any case, this is what we're going to go for. That's what we're going for. I might have to design a custom fueler with a big probe on the end of it just to mate with this, but that's not a big deal. Everything else should be fine. And this has RCS all over it. We got this big RCS tank, so that should be enough. This should be enough to get us there. We'll see. This should at least get us there. If it doesn't get us back, I can just send another version to go bring the little manned capsule back. So in any case, there is no manned capsule on this, so Jebediah is going to be the man who gets to go to Eve and bring us back some Eve rocks. That is really the only purpose of this mission. We do not have any science on board. And we're going to go ahead and set the Wolverine Mark 1 as our target, and we're going to try to get as close to this as I can. In fact, I'm going to, if anything, launch a bit early. I'm not sure what the launch characteristics on this are going to be like. It's going to be very top heavy, even with most of the fuel taken out. So if anything, I'll launch early and low, and or early and high, and let this catch up to me. I'll probably go do the rendezvous kind of on my own time and just show you the docking or something like that. Since we've seen rendezvous a bunch of times, we don't need to watch 1,000 orbits of things. Alright, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens with this. This is a reused launch vehicle, and for once the copy and paste seems to have worked. And we're gonna just light it up and go for it. Ooh, it's off the pad. Hooray! I was not sure until just now whether or not it would actually lift off the pad or not. So alright, first hurdle crossed. And it's actually accelerating reasonably well too. That's right, I do have to keep the fuel rate down on the liquid engines in order to not have them run out before the solid boosters do. It looks like that might happen, so I might have to hold on to this first liquid booster for a little bit longer than I'd like in order to let the solids run out. But as soon as they do run out, I can go ahead and just go crazy. Throttle up to full. I'm actually going to back this off a little bit more. I really don't want to be carrying all this extra fuel in that first stage, wherever it is. Must be this one, yeah. Don't want to be carrying those any longer than I have to. And I really don't want to eject these and have them turn into rockets and come smashing into the payload. Would be a disaster. Disaster of epic proportions. Come on, solid boosters, run out! Run out! You're killing me here! There we go. Alright, now we get to drop those 2 stages. And throttle to full. Hopefully we won't get any overheat situation. I'll just keep an eye on that one. That must be our center engine is overheating a bit. Not surprising. Not surprising. It should settle in. I don't think I've ever had any of these big guys yet. These clusters. I've yet to see one overheat. I'm kind of second guessing leaving that fuel in there. Maybe I should have just launched it completely empty. Well, we'll find out in a second, I guess. I can always go back and just try the launch again. This launch vehicle should be able to get this into space if it's dry. But I thought I might need some fuel up there to do the rendezvous maneuvering and stuff. I don't want to have to use this all for the rendezvous. Alright, it's picking up speed reasonably nicely though. We are going to be definitely behind our lander. Yeah, this launch vehicle gets the job done. I forget even what mission I used that on for the first time. Wow, I thought I was really leading the target. Turns out I wasn't leading it enough. Darn it. Oh, whatever. So I'll just launch as low as I can and catch up to it. Yes, I gotta forget where I developed this launcher for, but it's getting the job done. Save it as a sub-assembly, get to reuse it. Still a little glitchy, the sub-assemblies, but this one seems to have worked just fine. Hopefully that's something they can address in the future and clean that up and make that work a little bit more repeatably. Whoa, 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 settle back in there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that top heavy load I think is making this thing not want to maneuver quite the way I would like it to. Oh, for a second there I thought we were going to tip nose down. That would have been, well, catastrophic would be a good word for it, I suppose. Wow. This is moving alright, but I'm not sure just how well it's going to make orbit. After that lander made it to orbit so nicely, I think I got a little cocky. Might have actually needed a little bit more power in this launcher. We'll see. We'll see. Still might get there. Now let's use the atomics on the top there to help get us there. Oh, here, one more thing while we're launching. Let me show off something. Since it's the Eve mission, and I felt like we should have ship lights on the transfer vehicle since there aren't any on the other. Bye-bye, boosters. I went ahead and I put purple running lights on the vehicle. Of course, you can't see the last one, but that's because the lights are on the outboard shining in. So it's okay, these will be gone before too long. But yeah, purple running lights in honor of the purple planet Eve that we are headed to. Oh, come on, make it to orbit. Darn it, I'm going to stay nose up longer than I would have liked. This is not going up as quickly as I would like. Come on, at least move the apoapsis away from me so I know we're still gaining ground. Oh, we're losing it. We're losing it! Darn it, darn it, darn it. Not enough power in the launcher. I'm going to really have to go nose up here and see if I can't recover this. Yep, 17 seconds. Come on, pick up. No! No, it's not going to make it! Yeah, we're not going to make it. Shoot! Shoot, I say! Yeah, it's getting worse as we go higher. Not enough power. Ooh. Did it stabilize? Come on, baby. Come on, it stabilized at 15 seconds here, it looks like. Might still be able to get there. This is really inefficient, though. Burning 45 degrees to our velocity vector. So we're heading just about horizontal and trying to burn up. Oh, we're pushing it away from us. Pushing it away. How's our stage fuel doing? Ooh, not great. Come on, if I can just get into orbit, or at least get into space, I might be able to get into an orbit with the fuel that's fueling those atomic engines. And then I'll have to send up... Oh, good, we are pushing it away. Maybe I can still get there. I'm going to gradually start bringing this down towards the horizon, see if I can't get this to stabilize in the mid 20 odd seconds and try to get some more efficiency out of this burn. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Alright. Now we're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere! Whether that somewhere is orbit or not remains to be seen. Still got plenty of fuel left though, so I can keep burning for a while, I think, on this stage. Alright, alright. Now I'm going to start leveling it out. Because, see, our time to periapsis, or time to apogee, is going up quite a bit. And our speed is going up. All this looking good now, actually. And I thought it wouldn't make it. Yeah, I knew it'd make it. Yeah. I knew the whole time it was going to make it. Obviously, I'm full of crap. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we just don't run out of fuel before this gets there. Come on. It has the power, apparently. Whether or not it has the correct amount of fuel is yet to be determined. Come on, get me up into space, for crying out loud. This launch is so slow. I don't think it's my slowest launch ever, but it is not fast. Yeah, we're about to run out too. We'll have to light up the atomic engines. And only 4 of them, rather 8 will fire. Those inboard sets of 4 will be the only ones that'll go, because the outboard ones don't have fuel. It only feeds fuel inboard. It's designed to drop stages from the outside in. Okay, maybe, just maybe. No, okay, nope, we're gonna need a higher apogee than that. 73, ooh. We might be able to get 100 meters per second out of what's left. That would be pretty amazing. Considering I just slapped this together without trying anything in advance. And even left some fuel in up here. I would be fairly happy if this does in fact work. Actually, now that it occurs to me, I didn't put separatrons on this, so I actually hope we're just going to use this to get into orbit. And even if there's a little bit left here, we'll transfer whatever fuel's left up to here, and we'll use this to try to get our rendezvous, because I don't have separatrons on here, and the last thing I want is this big old piece of debris hanging out near where we're going to do our rendezvous and docking. It would be bad. It would be bad. Speaking of bad, stop maneuvering past the goddamn node. You stink. You stink. Come on, get me into space so I can fast forward and kill off this lopsidedness. Yeah, you can't tell, but I am hard over to the left with my controls, and it is not it is not adjusting in that direction. Well, once I light the engine, okay, good. Kill this rotation. And once I light the engine up, I can bring it back to center. Let's fast forward down. Get close to this. Come on, make it, make it. All right. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Come on, come back to the node, come back to the node. Alright, it's not quite to the node, but should get the job done. Oh, not quite there yet, not quite there. Come on, baby, come on, baby. Give me to 70, give me to 70. Oh, okay, 71 by 79. Whew, 72 by 79. Good enough, good enough. Ha. That's not even enough fuel there to worry about. Okay. Farewell, farewell, launcher. You are just barely sufficient for the task. And that's the highest praise I can come up with for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead off camera, get our rendezvous, all that fun stuff. Should be enough fuel in these atomic engines to set up our rendezvous. Shouldn't take much. And I'll come back when it's time for docking, and then it'll be time for the next episode. And I will do all my refueling runs off camera, because that's honestly painful and slow and not super exciting to watch. So I'll catch up to you guys in a minute when we have a rendezvous. Alright, here we go, trying to dock this. And I got lined up per the usual procedures. Now I'm just trying to get this rotated so that everything will line up the way it's supposed to, and we don't have any atomic fuel plumes running into, you know, things we actually want to keep around for the duration of the mission. And as I was coming to maneuver this thing into position, this transfer vehicle, one, trying to rotate the wrong way. One design flaw occurred to me, which fortunately we still have the opportunity to rectify with a quick add-on. And that is that I do have 4 RTGs on here, which supply a fair amount of power. However, we also have a lot of power consumption. See, I actually had to deactivate 2 of my advanced SAS modules here, so as to reduce my power consumption, because my power generation rate was not exceeding my power usage rate. That's also why I have the ship lights turned off, because they contribute a fair amount of power draw. So what I'm going to have to do is, when I bring up a refueler, which is fine because I got to bring up a refueler anyway, what I will do is I'll, you know, put a couple of batteries and some solar arrays or something on, and just kind of leave that attached to this port until it's time to come home. Then I could get rid of it, or I might even be able to keep it around or something like that. But it'll just be a little small module that'll get left behind after one of the refueling missions, because I have a feeling it's going to take a couple of refueling missions. So that is the plan to counter my design oversight. I often forget that when I have the oh, lighting glitch. I often forget that when I have the unmanned capsules. You always want to be very careful with your power consumption, because the power consumption of the capsule itself isn't actually too... Whoops, slow down, don't speed up. Power consumption of the capsule is not too bad, but you got to add some of those reaction control wheels and things like that in order to really get control of a sizable rocket that's unmanned. Alright, slowing it down, nice and easy, nice and easy. Okay. Oh, and we're lined up reasonably well, actually. I'm fairly happy with that. I do have these standoffs in there to also help avoid conflict with the lander parts. So come on, baby, come on, grab that bad boy. Yes, this vehicle looks ridiculous. Who cares if it looks ridiculous, if it gets the job done? Oh man. Okay, well, well, the good news for this also is that we have, on this vehicle, we also have 2 RTGs down here. So this will help supplement our power situation, so I can afford to turn the station lights back on. Yeah! You can tell, look at that, it goes... okay, maybe the lights didn't have that much of an effect. It's these reaction control wheels that were the big driver of our power consumption overages. So yeah, there we go. That's right, Jeb, you are ready to go, man. But no, you gotta wait. We need more fuel. We'll get you going soon there, buddy. Alright, so in any case, thank you guys for watching. This will be the end of this episode, and I will get ready to head to Eve in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. I am Southern Wolverine here around Laythe, or Jewel, or whatever the flying hell planet this is. Kerbin. Why couldn't I think of Kerbin? Anyway, we are here in orbit around Kerbin with Jebediah Kerbin. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, so that I know that you would like to see more. And I will see you next time. Have a good day.